All right, guys, this is probably going to be the most amazing video you've ever seen in your life, but this is your pink notes packet. We're going to fill in the first, or the next two problems, I guess, from grams to grams and then from grams to volume. So you'll, of course, need your mole map, periodic table, calculator. So for the first grams to grams, on your mole map, you're going from mass of A all the way across to mass of B. So first figure out what you know and what you don't know. So we want to know grams of H2. We're going to start with our 25 grams of N2. Whatever unit you start with goes on the bottom of the next step. So grams, if we look on our mole map, going from grams to moles, first we need our molar mass, which comes from the periodic table. So you find the mass of nitrogen, multiply it by 2, you get 28.02 grams per mole of N2. Make sure you label everything. Next is going to be our mole ratio. This comes from your balanced equation. So whatever unit you have on top goes on the bottom of the next step. So this comes from your balanced equation. So if we look up in our balanced equation, we have 1 mole of N2. We're comparing it to mass of H2. So we have 3 moles of H2. That's going to be our mole ratio. And then that would get us into moles of B. So then you go from moles of B to mass of B. Whatever unit you start with on top has to go on the bottom of the next step. So this is going to be our molar mass is equal to 1 mole. So now in 1 mole of H2, we find the molar mass of H2 from the periodic table. And then you do the same thing, multiply across and divide to get your answer. For grams to volume, you're going to start with your grams of N2. We want to know volume of NH3. So we want to know liters of NH3. We're going to start with our 54.5 grams of N2. So now we're going to go from grams of N2 all the way across and up to volume. So whatever unit you start with goes on the bottom of the next step. This will be our moles, or sorry, grams to moles. So moles of N2 we know is 28.02 grams per 1 mole of N2. Whatever unit you have on top goes on the bottom of the next step. This will be our mole ratio. It comes from the balanced equation. So moles of N2 from the balanced equation, we have 1. And we are comparing it to moles of NH3. From the balanced equation, we have 2 moles of NH3. Whatever unit you have on the top step goes on the bottom of the next step. And then this is our moles to volume. So we know that in 1 mole, there are 22.4 liters of NH3. And again, you multiply across the top, divide by the bottom. So now we can use your mole map to go and make any combination for calculations. So try some of these out in your homework packet, help each other out. I have a key posted on my webpage, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks.